Hey, welcome everyone to Wizards Outlook. We got Raymond Lyons here, Carlo Dudley Jr. Wilson Tarver Jr. The Washington Wizards tonight go to the Portland Trail Blazers, 123 to 88. The Blazers even the series. Washington beat them earlier in January of this year. Tonight, the Blazers exacted their revenge. They got back to 38 and 38, doing their part to one, getting back to 500 is obviously a positive for Portland. The other is just maintaining that pace. The advantage that they have over Golden State right now. They remain ninth in the playing spot. Cardell, you talked about a lot of things you talked about. The Blazers checked those boxes in this one. I know on the broadcast we talk about this whoever started to make threes, and this one would kind of create separation. But Portland's defense for large stretches of this one, we saw it was on full display. But ask you guys where you guys think things kind of went wrong for Washington in this one, or just when you guys feel when Portland took over this game.
Second half, after when they said a lot of the starters, to be honest. But really, Sumani Kamara and Drew Holiday, they really clamped down on the Wizards, and to make matters worse, they was out there scoring too. I think they had they had 23 of the Blazers 65 points in the second half just from the two alone, man. And this is with Flanagan not even scoring. He only took one field goal. Just all Scoot Henderson kind of continued what he did in the first half, 7. But yeah, they shot 53% from the field in the second half, and the Wizards shot 34 from the field. Lord Jesus, my bad. Something threw me off. The Wizards only made 14 field goals in the second half. The only thing that saved them, they was 11-11 from the free throw line. They wouldn't even got to 41. So you take that 11 away, that's 30. Got our rebound at 25-17. They really lost in the second half, and especially in that third where they got outscored 33-19. Look, we knew coming in, just during the pregame, we knew coming in that they had to kind of keep, well, not kind of, they had to keep Denny under control. Tumani, obviously, and Drew Holiday. But Scoot Henderson got the start because Shaden is out and 21 points, so 6 of 11 from the field, 7 rebounds. Tumani, 23 points, or 8 of 14. He's more of a defender, spread the floor, 3-and-D type of guy, 7 rebounds. Denny did what Denny does, 27-5, his usual numbers. And Drew Holiday was chilling. He didn't need to be aggressive. The young boys handled it. He went 3 of 6. He didn't even shoot a lot. 11 points. He just managed the game. And Matisse Thybulle came off the bench with 10. Those were the heavy hitters on offense. And everybody else just chipped in. They managed to score 123 points. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure they was at the game scouting the big win between, from UConn to Duke, man. That's at this point, that's what the focus is, seeing who they're going to pick and who they're going to keep. It is what it is while Portland's fighting for their playoff lives. So, that's just what you saw, the difference between the two teams, man. But, yeah, we know what's in store for the offseason, man, and the Wizards got a lot of work to do.
What are your thoughts on this one? Again, this is the front end of a back-to-back to tomorrow night. They're in LA to take on the Lakers, who won't have Luka because of suspension.
Yeah, basically, like Cardell said, is one team with something to play for and one team preparing for the draft, and that's basically what we saw tonight. And things got out of hand in that third quarter. Tumani Kamara, he had 12 of his 23 in the period, 5-7 from the field, and the Trailblazers ramped their defense up, and Wizards just couldn't fight back. The entire game they couldn't throw a rock in the ocean. They shot 37% from the field, 23% from three. 19 to 22 from the line was pretty much the only positive. And if they didn't shoot well from the free throw line, it would have got even worse. So yeah, that's all we saw, man. One team ramping up for postseason action, and one team just on their way to Cancun.
All right, as always, I'll put it up on the screen for y'all. Play the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go with Tumani. 23-7. Impressive game for him, especially considering um, he only averages 12, just under 13 a game, and 5 rebounds. So he really upped his average tonight. And we know he's going to bring the defense because, as you can see, the wings on the Wizards, specifically Bilal Coulibaly, who shot 2 of 14. It was a rough night. Bub Carrington 4 of 13. Rough night. Rough night.
Right. You had a different candidate for player again.
No, yeah, Tumani for sure, especially with the way he kind of blew things open in the third.
All right, Xfactor for y'all.
Scoop. Scoop. Simple as that. 21 in the game. Yeah, 14 and a half. Scoop. And then, people kind of forgot about him, obviously, with the Wemby's quick acceleration in the league, where he just, elevated to being one of being in running for being one of the, if not the best player in the league. And he ain't far off. He's coming, but, injuries started to play a role. And, he only been around for 23 games since he came back, but, 13.7 points, but he matched that in the first half. You know what I'm saying? So, making up for lost time, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, no argument for me, man. Good outing for Scoop. Yeah, it's just kind of good to see him continue to find his way.
All right, and again, for Washington, back to back, we'll see you guys tomorrow evening for pregame and outlook. They take on the Lakers before they return home to take on the Sixers. And they head right back out on the road as this season begins to wind down here for Washington, as Cardell mentioned, and eventually into the offseason to see where they go from there. But this one is we're officially beginning to wind this season down. Have a good night.